Good morning, everybody. It's Smitty. Thanks for stopping by the channel. It is December 26th, 2023, so day after Christmas. And the reason I mention that is because Copart just always breaking my heart, always betraying me in our relationship. Let me show you what I got at the Newburgh Copart location, and then I'll show you also why Copart just crushing my spirit. All right, Smitty back at the shop, and here's what we got. We got us a little 880 tree iron, little Sportster. This one has some interesting damage on it. This was a insurance bike. Liberty, liberty, liberty. Obviously, the gas tank is going to have to be replaced. It's the mystery of a damaged bike. Clearly the top of the gas tank. We got a broken mirror here. This poor thing. We got some damage to the pipe. Somebody stole the slip-on mufflers. I'm sure they took them before the insurance company took the bike. But we got damage to that thing there. Brake pedal. Got damage to the directional light. So, I mean, clearly the bike went down at some point. Damage to the rear fender. And then on this side, bent this bracket. There's the rest of that bracket is hanging there on the handlebars. So damage to basically the rear fender. You know what? I'm looking at this fender. I wonder if this is a wheelie gone bad. We lost the directional on this side. We've got a peeled up back fender. Yeah, this might have been a wheelie gone bad. This thing might have flipped upside down, smashed the mirror. It would appear that the impact was directly on this cap, which just caved in the... We're going to go with that. We're going to go with wheelie damage. So anyway, Evel Knievel's bike here. That's the bulk of the damage on this. I have not tried to start it. Oh yeah, so what I had with this was a license plate bracket. Somewhere over here. It's fine. Yeah, so that's really about it. We got a bent shifter. We'll replace the shifter. We'll replace the brake pedal. Those are eyes. I don't know what those are actually insurance markings, but there's actually nothing wrong with that. We'll repaint the fender. It's all tired up. Yeah, so I think I mentioned this is a 2013. This bike has 1,000 miles on it. The fuel pump, intake fuel pump is not happy. 11:13 on the clock. So it's, for a 2013, this bike was not ridden much. That's for sure. Bard's Harley Davidson in New Jersey. Interesting. Sounds like a door buzzer from the 70s. Here's why I was pissing and moaning about Copart. Because of this $45 charge, storage from the 24th to the 26th. Now I picked it up on the 26th, but that's considered a day. The 24th was Christmas Eve. They were closed. And the 25th, obviously being Christmas, they were also closed. Copart don't care. So that's already unbolted. I'm going to pull that tank off. Over here, I've got a used tank, which just has a couple little dings and dents, and we're just scrubbing that up, cleaning it up. Going to do a little bit of body work to it, and then we'll spray that, swap the fuel pump over, etc., etc. We've got a couple of rear blinkers. We got one missing on this side. Pretty much a straightforward project. I've already measured everything out ahead of time. The frame is in good shape. The chassis is fine. It is purely cosmetic at this point. You can see that this cover over here has been removed. That was not damaged. It's around here somewhere. There it is. But I pulled that off because I wanted to inspect it for damage. Again, everything looks good. I measured it and compared it to, well, this happens to be the same bike that Kelly B has. Identical, same year and everything. So I took some measurements off of her bike, unbeknownst to her. And I compared it to this. We're going to have to respray the front fender. That's got a little ding in it there. So again, primarily a cosmetic project as usual. I'm going to jump online. I'm going to order some parts for this right now, and we're going to get going on it. All right, enough chit chat. Let's go on a little Iron 883. All right, I'm back on the 883 Sportster. I'm not even sure how much of this I've got caught on video because I've just been nitpicking at it in between work and other stuff, and I really haven't focused on it. But I'm going to try and get some stuff done this morning on this, and I already have. And then I was like, dude, get out the camera. So yeah, we got the back fender off. I took off the front fender this morning. That had a little nick in the front of it. I just cleaned that up and blended some paint on the front of that, so that's all squared away. We've got our new lower triple tree. This one, the little stop on it. There's the stop on this side. Let me see if you can show you. I don't know if I videoed this or not. The stop broke off, probably when they wrecked the bike. Slammed against that and knocked it off. So I got that part. That's got to go on. I've got the tank over here. I'm finessing the body work on that. That's already been epoxy primered. Now I'm just doing some touch-up spots on it. And I'm hoping to spray that in Denim Black tomorrow. For now, I'm working on the rear fender, though. There's the old one, damaged. And I'm transferring the parts over. They're all pop riveted. So you got the reflector on either side. On one side, it's a reflector slash plate holder, which I had to get a new one of. There's this thing, which is like a mud guard. They're all riveted on. So I've already cut the rivets off, or grinded them off. Unfortunately, the holes on the new fender are just a little bit too small. So I'm just going to nail them all with a drill bit real quick, open them up, and then we'll get this fender put together and back on the bike. There's our fender. And here's these pieces that I was talking about that have the tail light wiring. It's probably a plate light there, yeah. And these are actually riveted to the inside of the fender. So I'll have to rivet these onto the new fender. Interesting. And we got this as like a mud guard. That's riveted, so we'll drill them out. Transfer them over to the new fender. Okay. Well, I was just getting ready to put this back fender on. And I'd be lying if I said I remember how it goes on. And I'm looking at this bike going, now is the time to clean it. So I'm going to switch gears. I'm just going to give this thing a quick bath. Just simple green it down and pressure wash it, and then get back to putting it together. There you go. Now it looks like a 1,000-mile bike. It's all cleaned up. That's the time to do it when you got it all apart. Get the frame nice and clean. Look at that. It's a brand new bike, basically. All right, let me get it back on the jack. We'll get that back fender on, and we're gonna have to start tearing the front end apart to get that lower triple tree replaced. Yeah. See that fancy bolt right there? Well, it just dawned on me. So what this does is this, it mounts both the fender and the directional. You know, and I have new turn signals for this. Fortunately, the threads are the same, even though it came with a different bolt. And what this does is it basically goes in here, holds up the fender, and then this goes over top of that. And then your directional screws to this stud. And it just dawned on me as I was going through my head, not remembering this. The other side, which is the side that got damaged, the trim piece was already off. It was zip tied to the handlebars when I bought the bike, which means the directional was off. Basically what it means is all the hardware was taken off. So not only do I need one of these, but I need a couple of these too. This shouldn't be a big deal. I mean, it's a standard Torx head bolt. Those I could probably get locally. The bigger issue is this jammy right here. It's very specific. So I'm going to press the pause button here. I'm going to jump online and see if I can source one of these off of eBay and make sure that there's nothing else that I'm missing. That's what happens. I started taking this apart. Weeks go by. You work on other bikes. But that's all part of it. Let me see what I can find for hardware. And there's what you're left with when all is said and done. Those are all bolted up now. All I have left to do is just figure out the wiring. I am going to wire them to the factory plugs and the factory wiring. So I'll take care of that real quick and then make sure all of the wiring and whatnot is secure under the fender. So there's the lower triple tree, the bottom of the lower triple tree, and you see you got this clip here, and you would look at that and go, okay, that's holding that on. All I have to, why did you take that all apart? All you do is slide that off. That's not the case. This triple tree has to be pressed out that way. It's pressed onto the bottom of this shaft, and I believe that the shaft is tapered. I'm not sure if you could press this thing all the way through or not. Regardless, it is pressed on. So basically what I'm saying is this shaft has to be pressed down, which will release the triple tree, and then we have to press the new one on. Unfortunately, I mean, I got my grubby paws all over it, but that is a super shiny, brand new piece off of a 1,000-mile bike, with the exception of where it's broke. The one I bought was not in great shape. I gave it a spray job. I used some clear on it. I don't like the way it looks. It's not quite as nice as the rest of the bike. Basically what I'm saying is I'm going to have to sand that triple tree down and put some higher grade automotive clear coat on it to see if we can duplicate the looks of this one. It's right on the front of the bike. It's got to look good. It's got to match the bike. So that's going to put me in pause for just a moment. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. This is the replacement triple tree. If you look real carefully, you can see it's had a repair done. It's not 100%. And again, I just don't like the gloss. It's got to be nicer than this. But to show you this shaft, like I said, it looks to, you look at it, you go, oh, it just slides out the bottom. There's the problem. It's tapered. It's fatter on that end, the bottom end. So basically what has to be done is it's got to be pressed up that way, or bring the triple tree down onto the shaft. So that's where we're at now. First I'm going to handle this paint. We're going to get that squared away, and then we'll get this thing back together. I thought maybe I was being a little nitpicky by redoing that, but now that I see it done, looks much better. That's with a true two-stage base coat, clear coat out of the gun. Matter of fact, it now looks better than the original one, which is okay. I wasn't happy with that. So I'm going to swap the shafts over now, and then we can get to putting this thing together. All right, Sunday morning we're going to tackle some paint on the Sportster tank. I got it all roughed in here. Wise it up in the air because I like to get the bottom of the tank first and then work my way down. That's why I utilize the lift. It makes it a whole lot easier to make sure I get, you know, underneath, inside the tank, you know, inside the bottom of the tank, etc. So let's get this squared away. Hard pause. First coat of base coat, and we got something reacting. So I'm gonna have to scuff this back down and reseal it. No idea what that could be because this tank was sealed, but something's bleeding through for sure. Actually, in that spot, a little tiny spot there, somewhere else, couple areas right there. It's reacting to something underneath, which is strange since I sealed this with an epoxy primer. Oh, it is what it is. We're gonna have to, what do we got on this stuff? We're probably gonna wait an hour. I'll have to scuff it, the entire tank back down and reseal it. Dang it. You know, and I wanna show something like that because the reality is that happens. Not terribly often, but you know, hey, I'm painting in the middle of the shop. Any number of things could have been floating around in the air and landed on that. There's no telling what it is, and there's no sense in boo-hooing about it. It's got to be fixed. All right, well, that took a little longer than I would have liked, but there you are. I had to sand it down, reseal it. Now I got 2 coats of base coat on it. If you've watched me spray denim paint before, you'll know that the base coat goes on semi-shiny like that. It's actually the clear coat that will give you the denim look. So as soon as we get done with this, I'm not thrilled with how that tank came out, to be honest with you, but I guess we'll have decals on it and everything else. Anyway, just thinking out loud. I gotta wait an hour for this to cure, and then I'll spray that denim clear on there, and then we'll be on to other things. That is a shadow. Okay, I was making sure there wasn't a smudge there. It's a shadow. So I wiped the tank down to clean it up first. And then we're just going to put a couple of small decals. Whoa! On it. The question is, oh yeah, I already got dirt on it. Dang it, Jeff. Dirty boy. The question is, my question, and I guess at the end of the day it doesn't matter. Do you square it up with the bottom of the tank? I don't know. Let's just go for it. Let's just go for it. Right. That's not where I wanted it. Just kidding. Too late. What's the worst that can happen? Elegantly understated. I don't know if I love it. But I don't hate it. I wanted something subtle and understated. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, I'm not jumping for joy, but I suppose it'll do. So what we've got here on the brake pedal, it just, you know, it's, I don't know if that's pot aluminum or what it is, but it actually, you know, must have scuffed on the road. Oh, that's loose. So I'm just going to grind that down and then we'll touch it up. It's simple. All right, well, I can't get at the bolts to bolt the pipes down because the lift is in the way. So we'll let her down. We'll just have to fight pretty close to the ground. All right, well, I had to fight with those brackets and get them straightened out and mess around a little bit. And rather than bore you with that, they are on there now. They're all installed, clamped on. They look good. So I just want to say, in my opinion, these little Sportsters are one of the best sounding Harleys out there. That's just my own personal opinion. I just think they're phenomenal sounding bikes. I don't remember if I took video of this and fired it up when I first bought it. Now, I didn't even initially notice that it had no mufflers on it. It sounded good, but not obnoxiously loud as you would think. So I don't anticipate that this is going to sound a whole lot different than it did before. But let's go ahead and fire this thing up so you guys can hear what it sounds like. Neutral, fire in the hole. Son of a. Spent too much time playing with directionals apparently. Let me charge this and then we'll try again. All right, let's try this one last time. Let's see if we can't give you a sound clip of the old Sporty. You know, I think I like the sound of these Sporties just because it reminds me of a real nice hopped up small block Chevy with a nice solid lifter cam in it. It's just got that raspy, rough. I like it. Anyway, that's going to do it for a little iron, the 883 Iron Sportster. Let me give you a quick run around and a overview of what we did. Well, since we're on this side of the bike, we put a couple of slip-on mufflers on it in that flat black to match the bike. Moving around the back, you can see that new fender that we painted satin black. We put a couple of LED tail lights on there. I'll show you them lit up once we go around this whole thing. Over on this side, what did we do? Not a damn thing. We did straighten out the shifter. That was about it. Put a couple of new levers on it. The clutch one in particular had a little bit of road rash on the end of it. Put a couple of low-hanging mirrors, stock Harley type mirrors. We just flipped them around and hung them upside down. We got that new triple tree on the front in nice shiny black. We got a nicely touched up satin black front fender that had a little scuff on it, which I blended some paint into. I also threw in some tinted front directional covers, and I had a couple of LED inserts. I threw them on. I like them because they light up the front nicely. They're actually, they're like a daytime running light, and then they go amber when you turn the directional on. And what? Oh yeah, we put a used tank on it. Did a little body work to that. Put some. It's got dust on it. Put some satin black on that, and put some nice understated Harley decals on both sides of the tank. That was really about it for this one. I like this bike. It's a fun little project. Let me show you those directionals, and then we'll wrap this up. There's the LEDs on the back. They have a reflector. That's what those dark spots are on either side. Those are kind of different. What do they look like when we put the directional on? And then that reflector also blinks. I'm going to have to resync them. Tisk, tisk. And then on the front, you'll see, as I mentioned, those light up as a daytime running light. And then when you do then they go amber in the center. I don't know if you can really see that. It's kind of hard to tell because the outer part is so bright. But anyway, that's it for them. I put those LEDs in the front, and now they're out of sync. So I'll have to reset them. And that's gonna do it for this little 883 Sportster. It's a 2013. It's got, what did we say, 1,100 miles on it? 1113. I'm gonna take this thing out for a ride if the weather will ever break. All right, people, that's it for this project. What are we on to now? I'll be doing some work on my my '09 night train. I'm gonna switch up the bars on that and do some stuff. But that's it for bike projects. We got a garage full of bikes that we need to sell now. Next big project, well, I did the Chevy Avalanche. That'll pop up here at some point. And then I'm on to my daughter's little Volvo C30. That one's a 2012. That was hit in the front. We're going to fix that thing up and get it back down to her in Maryland. She bought that. Well, we bought it at Copart, and then she bought a parts car. That video will be coming up. And that'll about do it for now, because now I'm getting long-winded. All right, people. That's a 2013 883 Sportster. I'm Smitty, and I'm out.